Hey y'all, I've been meaning to do another video with stuff I've been finding in these Life magazines, and today Manny did one about baby seals, and it reminded me that I had just read this. This is actually the June 13th, 1969 edition of Life magazine, and was actually really fascinating. This whole life poll on science and sex, this is when they were first doing in vitro fertilization, surrogate babies, and it was almost like a big old, it just shows what we've become. It's amazing reading it. But the iridescent gift of death was, there was an oil leak off Santa Barbara that was killing all of the baby seals, and there's their mothers dying. So sadly, we've been doing this for quite a long time. Oh, I thought this was cute. They had like a Occupy issue with the police at these demonstrations in Berkeley at a People's Park. So they had another one, protest of flowers, and the cops smile back. Gotta love the 70s, huh? Oh, this was fascinating. In Paris, the astronauts from America and the astronauts from Russia got together and got drunk on vodka inside of their airplane. Just can't make this stuff up, people. Big presidential election in France. I just thought it was funny that the guy that won was doing the little Illuminati triangle, eh? And then the other guy with a ponderous wink, if he loses his bid for the presidency, he still remains head of the Senate. So, there you go. What do we get here? Oh, look. It's O.J. Simpson and his first wife, Marguerite. Not all big, comfortable cars have big, uncomfortable prices. That was interesting today because I was thinking with the Oklahoma City, they just found the U-Haul left out, and I was thinking about the Oklahoma City bombing. And I was actually in the Navy working in secret files for the commander of the Atlantic Fleet many, many moons ago when that happened, and we were all watching the O.J. Simpson trial on TV. The second Genesis is what they're calling it. Sex, Science, and Tomorrow's Morality. It's talking about eugenics and predetermining the sex of our babies and all of this stuff. Oh, yeah. I noticed there's a lot of nudity in these old Life magazines, that stuff that would get us in trouble. Like, here, I'm just going to cover, because ironically today, that child's butt crack would get me a strike for child pornography. And they're talking about how all of this is going to bring about the beginning of the end of family life. And they're talking about the different IVFs and stuff. I found this fascinating. This lady here talking about surrogacy, and it's interesting with the time period because her children seem to be mixed race. Don't have a problem, I'm just saying for the time period. But she wrote, Marjorie Foster of Toledo, Ohio, a mother of 3, is strongly opposed to artificial conception. It would take manhood from the father. We could forget about the woman's role. I just wouldn't feel the child was mine. It might sprout horns or wings or something. Okay, that just was an odd... Oh, look, there's Ringo Starr and Raquel Welch. I don't know, maybe I spend too much time on the internet, but when I look through these old magazines, okay, after 30 Volkswagens, Father Bittman still believes. Okay, I drive a Volkswagen, so I love that. Anyway, maybe it's just me, but I see a lot of this the symbolism and very interesting things when you look at them in hindsight. This one is from 1970, January 30th. Ecology becomes everyone's business. And it was really interesting because they sure were starting up the agenda long before any of us knew, right? They're turning the whole ecology movement into like that. We need a flood of new laws. And let's see. This is when everyone started becoming aware of the environment, evidently. And look where it got us. Sooner or later, there will be some violence. Sadly, everyone's getting very upset over everything that's going on, and we become so desensitized we don't even realize this is what's going on in the rest of the world. When you get away from the Kardashians and The Bachelor, this is reality, and this is what we've done to ourselves. And you know what? I think the whole world's about ready for a reset, and because it just can't get any worse. These are cute. These are monkeys that live up in the snow, and they just cuddle together and keep warm, and they're trying to figure out how they're still alive. What do we got? Oh, this is when they started tracking the effect of violence and watching violence on our children. Look at that. An undesensitized child reacts to violence. And they show that as he becomes more and more desensitized and what his body is doing. Yeah, they've been studying us for quite a long time. Jigsaw of the primeval world. An old theory that all the continents once fit together is now proved. I love 135 holes in the ocean's floor. Okay, I'm going to have to go back and read this one. I don't remember seeing this article. That is interesting. Oh, look. It's Nixon golfing. It looked like I loved in this, but if I can find it, where is it? This was a great guest article, Direct Elections, an Invitation to National Chaos. And it's talking about the Electoral College and voter fraud, Brooklyn Bridge. Look, guys, that's what the sun looked like in 1970. I don't know what I did with... It's really interesting looking at the past through new eyes, because things that you thought you learned, like that. What Daddy wants, Daddy gets, and Daddy wants Old Spice. They had the most sexist advertising. No wonder the women got mad. I'm sorry, if my husband buys me a dishwasher for our anniversary, just saying. I have a little addiction to buying books at the thrift shops, because you can find some great old books, especially like if somebody's grandma passes or whatever and they give them. I highly recommend this book. History is Wrong. Yeah, that's his name. The guy who wrote Chariots of Gods. But he's got all these great pictures of like these old artifacts and runic manuscript. It's just fascinating. Somehow I got, not sure why I picked this up. The Soviet Strategic Defense, I don't know, one of those things. History, remembered, recovered, invented. An eminent scholar's observing ruminations on the perils and possibilities of history. And it's really ironic because I was at my computer programming class. I'm back in school last night. And my professor, who's done this for a really long time, was talking about how he was asked once to change historical data in a database because he was the programmer and he refused to do it. And I don't know. That's why I like my books, because they can't go back and change them like they can, videos online. The Lost Ship of Noah, In Search of the Ark. I got this because I remember as a kid watching the movie where they went up and found Noah's Ark in the side of a mountain. I remember watching this movie. Yet, if you listen to mainstream media, Noah's Ark never happened, and it's just a fairy tale. This was also an awesome one. The Timetables of History. A horizontal linkage of people and events. And it takes everything